Daniel Jacobs.
You know my level. And you will see.
Go! And he scores! But since he's scoring...
Oh, he shots. Kirkland does... Oh! The uppercut caught him!
What happens when a retired legend steps into the gym? Not to fight, but to uncover the secret behind a modern champion's success. Manny Pacquiao is no stranger to war, but what he witnessed during an intense private training session with Canelo Alvarez, it wasn't dominance, it wasn't invincibility, it was a glaring weakness, a hole in the armor of boxing's biggest star. And now, he's speaking up. Because sometimes, it doesn't take an opponent to expose you, just the eyes of a legend who's seen it all before. Manny Pacquiao and Canelo Alvarez are two titans from different timelines. One, the pride of the Philippines, speed, power, explosiveness, a hurricane in gloves. The other, Mexico's crown jewel, calculated, ruthless, an executioner with precision. For years, fans fantasized about the dream matchup, Prime Pacquiao versus Prime Canelo. It never happened. But in 2025, the boxing world got something else. A rare moment, behind closed doors, where these two giants trained side by side. Manny wasn't there to test Canelo. He was there to observe. And what he saw changed everything. Because even if you're not fighting anymore, a warrior never stops reading the battlefield. It started as a respectful collaboration. Pacquiao was preparing for an exhibition tour. Canelo for a potential super fight at 168. Roach, Reynoso, two coaching legends under one roof. The session was intense, but the mood was light. Until the sparring drills began, Manny watched from the ring apron. Canelo was working with a slick, younger southpaw. And that's when Pacquiao leaned into his team and whispered something that changed the tone of the whole room. He's hesitating. And when Manny Pacquiao says you're hesitating, it doesn't mean you're scared. It means you're vulnerable. Manny wasn't impressed by the power. He wasn't wowed by the combinations. He was focused on the feet, the pivots, the placement, the tempo. What he noticed was subtle but deadly. Canelo loads up. Every time he throws the right hand, he subtly shifts his weight. But against faster movers, that microsecond of telegraphing is enough. Canelo's greatest strength, his power, becomes a progress scout tactical weakness. Because he needs to set, to fire, and that gives fast fighters, like Crawford, like Pacquiao, just enough time to escape, counter, or reset the pace. Pacquiao pointed it out, and the gym went quiet. Because in the ring, hesitation isn't a mistake, it's an opportunity. Clips. Pacquiao dancing in the ring. Canelo planted. Back and forth clips. Canelo is a tank. He doesn't chase you. He waits. He expects you to come to him, eventually. But Manny, he created chaos. He didn't step to you, he exploded past you. And that he saw being effective against Canelo. The longer the session went on, the more Pacquiao's prediction became reality. Canelo looked great, but only when his target stood still. The moment his sparring partner used angles, Canelo paused. That's when Manny told his team, he's beatable by someone who never stops moving. Because styles don't just make fights, they expose truths. Manny built his legacy by never letting anyone settle. Cotto couldn't figure out his angles. Hatton couldn't touch him. Even Thurman got dropped by speed, not power. Watching Canelo train, Pacquiao saw a fighter who needed mirror, control to dominate. But when that control breaks, so does the rhythm, so does the power. Manny's takeaway was clear. Canelo's weakness isn't physical, it's philosophical. He's a master of structured violence, but chaos, speed, relentless motion. That's his kryptonite. And if you need order to win, what happens when your opponent brings only chaos? If Pacquiao were 10 years younger, he already knew the plan. Volume, angles, in and out, never stand still. Force Canelo to reset every 5 seconds. Drown him in rhythm changes. Steal rounds before Canelo can set his feet. That's the nightmare for a pressure counter fighter. And that's what Pacquiao believes Crawford used perfectly. In Manny's words, he's strong. But if you make him chase, he fades. Because no matter how hard you hit, you can't KO what you can't catch. Canelo's still elite, a 4-division champ, a pay-per-view king. But every great fighter has a flaw. Ali struggled with swarmers. Tyson struggled with tall boxers. Mayweather with southpaws who jabbed. Canelo, he struggles with tempo, with fighters who don't stay where they're supposed to. Pacquiao didn't come to disrespect. He came to understand. But what he saw was enough to say it publicly. There's a way to beat Canelo, and it's not about strength. It's about speed, control, and footwork. Because the blueprint to beat a legend always comes from another legend. While the gym was fixated on Canelo's power shots, Pacquiao went to work on the mitts. Freddie Roach called the combos. Manny delivered. Fast, fluid, chaotic. Every step, a pivot. Every punch, a blur. He wasn't showing off, he was sending a message. Canelo's camp noticed. They watched as a 46-year-old legend danced across the canvas like it was 2009 again. And in that moment, the gym went from impressed to reflective. Because what they saw wasn't nostalgia, it was a contrast. Pacquiao wasn't just fast, he was unpredictable. He didn't follow rhythm, he broke it. And in the ring, rhythm is everything. You can defend against power, but how do you defend against something you can't time? Later that week, Pacquiao returned to the gym, but this time he stepped in. Not against Canelo, but against a young fighter who mirrored Canelo's footwork and pressure. Pacquiao gave him a round, then two, and by round 3, he was controlling everything. He jabbed and slid, threw combinations and disappeared. He'd land 4 punches and be gone before the counter came. The gym saw it, and Pacquiao didn't say much until after. He took off his gloves, looked toward Freddie and said, "This is how you fight Canelo." Because sparring isn't just practice, it's prophecy. If you know what to look for, when Crawford defeated Errol Spence, fans saw brilliance. When Manny watched it, he saw something deeper. He saw the execution of the blueprint. Crawford didn't overpower Spence. He didn't brawl. He studied, adapted, then broke Spence apart surgically. Against Canelo, it was the same story. Never stayed where Canelo expected. Pacquiao smiled, because everything he'd whispered in the gym weeks earlier, Crawford brought it to life perfectly. Because when great minds align, the result isn't just a win, it's a masterclass. What separates legends from the rest? It's not power, or speed, or belts. It's humility, the willingness to learn, even after decades of dominance. Pacquiao never stopped being a student. He watched Canelo not to compete, but to understand, to measure greatness. And what he found wasn't a flaw in the man. It was a reminder of boxing's eternal truth. Every fighter has a pattern, and if you see it early enough, you can write the ending. Because no one understands how to beat greatness like someone who's been it. Let's be clear, Canelo is still elite, a champion, a global icon, a technician. But the game evolves. The fighters are getting faster, sharper, more unorthodox. The new generation isn't coming in straight lines. They're coming from angles, from chaos, from rhythm that can't be measured. Pacquiao saw it in training, and he knows Canelo will need to adapt. Because the old formula, walk down, break down, slow burn knockout, that won't work forever. Because in boxing, the blueprint that builds you can also be the one that breaks you. Manny's preparing for Mario Barrios. It's not an exhibition, it's a war at 46 years old. But behind the training, there's a deeper motivation. Because when Pacquiao watches fighters like Canelo, he doesn't see something he can't match. He sees something he understands. He sees a rhythm, a pattern, a challenge. And in the quiet hours between rounds, he wonders, what if I had 10 more years? Because true fighters never truly leave. They just train differently. Pacquiao's experience with Canelo wasn't just about critique. It was about the message to the next generation, to the fighters coming up, obsessed with power, highlight reels, and knockouts. He's saying, don't chase noise. Adaptability. Those are the tools that define greatness, not viral punches. Pacquiao saw that in Canelo's training, and it's why he believes the next pound-for-pound kings won't be the biggest hitters. They'll be the hardest to find, because boxing isn't about who hits hardest. It's about who hits last and cleanest. This wasn't a rivalry. It wasn't about trash talk. It was a moment. 2 eras, face to face, and one legend seeing the limits of another. Pacquiao isn't fighting Canelo, but he left the gym that day knowing one truth. There's a way to beat him. It's not brute strength. It's rhythm. It's speed. It's the refusal to be where the punch is going. And that's what Manny mastered long ago. Because in boxing, the greatest weapon is being a step ahead. If you love this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes storytelling just like this. Do you think Pacquiao's read on Canelo was accurate? Is the Mexican superstar in danger of being exposed again?